have a lot of things to talk about today, and I want to talk about my new book that came out. It is, oh, I didn't even bring it, like, that's so stupid. Hold on. It's called My Ex Was a Cutie Pie. And it's a transgressive poetry memoir that goes through 3 whole years of insanity. It's chronologically ordered through a series of 3 years, and it's a very personal topic. To me. The reason I wanted to make this video today is because I wanted to talk about the actual story behind the madness. This was a very toxic relationship that I'm actually talking about in this book, and I managed to get it out in a month because that's how finished the relationship was. What is the story? So many people ask me, what actually happened? Why was she toxic? Why didn't you guys break up? And I guess I can talk about it now because I'm like super over it. But let's just say there was a ton of incompatibilities. It was 3 out of 7 years that I've been doing this, that this has been going on behind the scenes, and I feel like it's had an impact on me and how I've grown as a person, as well as who I want to be in the future and how I want to inspire people. The way I inspire people, as you probably know, is helping them to conquer fear. And this book, to me, was my biggest fear come to reality. This was love is my weakness. I don't know. Isn't love everyone's weakness? You know, I'm an artist, so I'm quite sensitive little thing, and you know, the most smallest things affect me. So for someone to come into my life and be toxic, to be beyond just normally an asshole ex, but to be a toxic asshole ex was insane. It was actually insane. And so many people have been asking me what the story was, the whole entire story, because of course when I wrote it in the book, it's just a series of poetry. It doesn't tell the full story. I know you want all the gossip, so I'm just gonna tell it to you now as best as I can. Oh, I hope somebody out there realizes that it's okay to feel these entire universes of emotion when something ends, when you have to grow into a different person, and when you have to conquer those fears. Because for me, in writing this book, even though I'm a transgressive author, which means, just in case you didn't know, it means pushing the boundaries and doing things that are extreme and outrageous. When I wrote this book in particular, so many people were praising it, but then other people were saying, wow, are you sure you should write something so personal? Are you sure you should write something so intimate? And I was just like, yeah, this is my life. And the more people told me I shouldn't do it, the more I wanted to do it. Because I am not the kind of person who likes to be censored. I don't like to be censored. And this is my experience. And I always believe that every experience that happens to me in my life, I feel that I can share it with somebody else and they can have a relatable experience to mine. You know? Whoever's going through the same kind of things right now will love this book. If you have never been through this experience, you will still love this book. But it's for any person out there who has ever had an ex that they do not like anymore. And it's very out of character for me to say this, and that's why all my friends were a bit worried, because if you know me, I do not carry that negative energy around with me. I don't hate anyone. For me to say I hate you, wow, I mean, you would have had to stab me for me to hate you. Like, that's just, why do I need to carry, like, hatred in my heart, you know? So for me to write a book where I'm actively calling someone in real life a name on the cover of my book, that's how you know they got to me very deeply. And Anyway, I'm just gonna get into the story because I could sit here and waffle about it all day. We met. We talked to each other for about 6 months, and everything in that time was amazing. Like we just clicked, and we talked about the most deepest subjects, and everything was just lovely, and we couldn't wait to talk to each other at the end of the day. Everything was just beautiful and romantic. And then this was a long distance relationship, in case you could tell. We'd talk to each other every day. We would type online. Oh my god, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait, and this is amazing. I've never felt like this before with anyone. Blah 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 blah. And we finally got to a situation where we met, and that was when, I can't believe I'm saying this on camera, but that was when I fell in love. It was almost instantaneous. I won't say it was like love at first sight, because you know that's very overplayed, and that kind of downplays what I was feeling. But it wasn't like a fairy tale. We'd had all this backstory, and we'd had all these adventures prior, and then when she met, it was sort of just like, oh, okay, you're exactly how I thought you were gonna be, and that person I think I'm falling for, you know? Yeah, we just had the most amazing day, night ever of my life. And then from there, we sort of met up again. We were just, I don't think we even said that we were dating. We just dated, you know? It was so instantaneous. It was quick. I hope I'm not coming off as a lesbian stereotype here, but it was amazing, okay? Let's just get out of the way. That's the disclaimer, because from there it kind of went, you know, a bit, so it started off amazing, and she is to this day an amazing person. I'm not going to slander her or say that I didn't do anything wrong, you know.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I think I know the specific point where everything started to go downhill, and that was when we had a little bit of an argument, because it was based on a misunderstanding. But she messaged me and she said to me that she wanted to take a break from the relationship. Well, that's how I took it anyway. She told me she needed a break because she needed to work on things, and I don't know why. I don't know what was going on in my head at the time, but I kind of took it the wrong way. And, well, just because I was falling in love so hard, and it just felt like it wasn't the right time to have a break, you know? We just met each other maybe once or twice, you know? So I just kind of, I communicated that, but I don't think I communicated it in the right way. Maybe the way I typed it or something came across very, angry. And, it spooked her, and then we didn't speak for a while. And looking back, that was such a comical reason to break up or to have an argument or, just lose something important. But at the time, when tensions are high and feelings are high, it feels it's hard to manage your emotions. But I didn't think it would be the end. Like, I didn't think she would just, right, I've had enough of this, I'm going. I didn't think she would just leave based on the first argument we'd ever had before. So yeah, that happened. And looking back, that's why I realized that incident, as much as when we resolved it, we realized that it was a misunderstanding and it wasn't actually about me. She just wanted to have some space to work on her stuff, and I should have just said, oh, okay, that's amazing, that's wonderful. But I took it as a personal attack, and that was my fault 100%. But then the toxic nature of what happened is on her part, because from that moment, no matter how much I apologized for the misunderstanding, we never really recovered from that. because there was no forgiveness. Truly, like 100% truly, there was no forgiveness. She said she forgave me, but from there it was always like a it wasn't the same after that. So then something happened that was not her fault at all in any way, but my mental health took a bit of a dive, and that's when I reached back out to her and I said, look, we should have had that argument. I think it was stupid and I care about you too much to lose something like this over, something like that. And she agreed and we sort of started talking again and everything seemed cool. Except for this one thing, and this is what was toxic, that she couldn't forgive. I think that was what it was. And that's what hurt so much, especially because I was going through my own mental health struggles and so much stuff was happening in my life, which now I realize, I'm happy that I was having the struggles with her because it took my mind off all the other madness. I can't even get into it, but just, family issues, mental health issues. But all I could think about was her and making things right with her. And that was maybe it saved me in a way because I had something to hope for. And that at that time in my life was very important to me. But she was also making it super difficult. When I say mental illness, I mean the deepest kind. I mean the depths of I should have got some help. Like, it was really bad. And I just needed someone who could be sympathetic to me and maybe lend me some of their energy until I could get back on my feet again. And it became very clear very quickly that she was not the kind of person that was going to be able to handle that kind of thing or even to try. And that was where the issues sort of started escalating because she basically told me to just deal with it on my own. And to me, I don't feel like that is what a relationship should be about. I knew it was based on spite because of what had happened, and I could not imagine holding on to something like that when you know that someone else is in pain. And that's just the difference between her and me. I would never do that to someone. But I was in love with her. So I just sort of I let a lot of things slide. I didn't want to let go of the relationship, and I would do anything to keep that relationship. I was willing to put up with a lot of things. I'm not going to say I was perfect because I was going through all this kind of stuff, but I gave everything to that relationship. I gave 500% to that relationship. There was a lot of stuff in between, breaking up, making up. Every time we had an argument, she would tell me, this is the last one, or we're done. And it just put so much pressure on the relationship, and it made me feel like I was being a burden in her life more than an asset. And I know I was being an asset, to be honest. Even in my darkest moments, even in the midst of the worst years of my life, I know I was always there for her. I was helping her with her things. I wasn't bringing, stress to her life. I was just going through some stuff. And I feel like if I hadn't have gone through so much stuff, or if I wasn't going through all that stuff, maybe I would have had the strength to move on faster. But because she was the last happy thing that had come into my life before the mental storm happened, I associated her with happiness. And that's why I held on for so long. I shouldn't have. The kind of person she is that she took love and compassion and kindness for weakness. Like 100%. No doubt about that. She took it for a weakness. She would be like, why are you saying all these things? Ew. You know, kind of like that attitude. I don't believe you. And whatever, basically. A lot of the time. There was one point where, you know, she wanted us to be just friends. And it was like, if you say one more compliment to me, I'm going to block you. It was always threats and ultimatums. If you do this, I'm going to block you. I have no qualms about blocking you. I don't care. I will block you. And I just thought, how can I have a relationship with this person who doesn't actually care about me, who doesn't want to put an effort in? I feel like I'm putting in an effort 7,000% all the time, 24/7, and she's just putting up with it, basically. All based on a misunderstanding that happened, but at that stage, about 2 years prior, that she hadn't let go of. It was a grudge against me. No matter what I did, no matter how many times I tried to make it up, it was a grudge. I couldn't get past that with her. It was like unbelievably impossible. Anyway, my battery's dying, so I'll be back. Okay, long story short, I'm gonna make this fast. The final straw. The 3rd year we'd been together doing this on and off thing, having arguments, stop talking to each other again, me apologizing 100 times for things that I wasn't even sure I should be apologizing for at this stage. I just wanted to apologize to keep the peace. At this 3rd year, after chasing her for about 6 months with, tepid results, uneasy results, she finally decided or realized that she wanted to be with me, and she realized she'd been really hard on me. And then that's when we had an amazing period again. We were happy again. It was like amazing. And the only thing that was different this time is that I had taken a bit of time out for myself, and I'd gotten a support network of friends, and I was doing fitness, and I had basically started to rebuild my life. So by the time she wanted to be with me, it didn't feel like my be all and end all anymore. It didn't feel like, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like a victory. I can't say I didn't want it anymore. But I wasn't so dependent on it. So my attitude changed completely. I was the one who was more chilled and relaxed about it, and she was the one chasing me, and it was like a dramatic change. It was a dramatic change of dynamic. And basically that's where it ended, because I realized that I was worth more and I deserved more. And in a strange twist of fate, that was the time that she realized also that I was worth something, and the way she'd been treating me was just ridiculous. And that's when we had our last final argument, and for the first time ever, I didn't fight to save it. I went to her best friend and I checked that she was okay after we had the breakup, and I'd found out a lot of things that she'd been saying about me that weren't very nice, and I felt a bit betrayed, because I like to keep things in a relationship between us. Oh, hurts. That was basically the final straw. Like I mean, it was quite clear from there that she never had any respect for me. I don't know if that was due to the argument or even before the argument, way many years back, that she had no respect for me, and it just wasn't going to work because she doesn't believe in the kind of love that I give. And yeah, that was it, man. That was it. I hope you check out the book, because I can relate it much better in the book. I went through, all of the arguments we had and all of the little nuances of the events that we went through, and I feel like it's a much better representation. But I just wanted to do this video just quickly to give an overview of what happened, and just to say that don't ever go out with anyone who makes you feel like a burden. Ever, 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 ever. Because you're not, you know? If you're not a burden for wanting love, for wanting attention from the person you love, for expressing love, you know? I could not be with someone ever again that shamed me for expressing love. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like a burden, and you'll be alright. I promise you'll be okay. If you're experiencing it right now, you know you're worth more, and I hope you can get out of the situation, heal, take all the time you need to heal, and don't let anybody tell you how to narrate your experience afterwards, because they don't know, they've never been in it. And you know, do whatever you need to do to heal. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon, girlfriend. I'll see you soon. Hey everyone, welcome to 2020.